The Slytherin common room was paradise for someone like me. Someone who preferred dim light to the harsh glare of torches and chandeliers. A greenish glow filtered in through massive windows that looked out into the Black Lake, giving the space an otherworldly, almost aquatic feel. It was like being submerged. A grand fireplace crackled at the far end of the room, its warmth stretching toward clusters of deep green armchairs and plush couches. Tapestries embroidered with serpentine patterns draped the stone walls, muffling the vaulted room's acoustics to a comfortable hush. And in the corner, a waterfall, the sound steady, calm, almost soothing. I stood there, utterly enraptured. Maybe I was in the right house after all. I was still gaping at the breathtaking space when Sebastian's voice pulled me back to reality.
Nina, meet my twin sister Anne.
I turned just in time to see him step behind a petite girl with chestnut brown hair and blunt bangs. The resemblance was unmistakable, the same soft features, freckles, warm eyes, though Anne's held more pride.
"Welcome to Slytherin,"
she said, offering a friendly smile.
"I see my brother has already taken you in. Beware, he's an idiot."
Her delivery was so deadpan that I let out an unrestrained laugh. "Thanks for the warning," I said, though, according to Professor Weasley, I'm in good hands. Anne snorted.
Questionable.
Sebastian shot her a wounded look, but we only laughed harder, our voices blending into the low murmur of the common room as more students trickled in from dinner. Most went straight to their dormitories, but I was far too restless for sleep. Instead, I stayed with Anne and Sebastian, sinking into a seat by the fire as we dealt out a deck of enchanted playing cards. After a few rounds, Sebastian lifted his head.
Anne, did you see Ominous? He left dinner without saying a word.
Anne barely looked up from her hand.
Yeah, he said he was tired. Went straight to bed after eating.
She flicked a glance at Sebastian, smirking.
Though if I had to guess, I'd say he felt a bit left out. His aura was practically radiating grumpiness.
Sebastian scoffed, unimpressed.
He was in a foul mood all evening. No idea why.
Then turning to me.
Don't take it personally, Nina. Ominous doesn't confide in anyone. For some reason, he trusted me from the day we met, but even Anne had to claw her way into his good graces. We spend a lot of time together.
That was oddly reassuring, but it still bothered me to be dismissed outright, for no apparent reason. Anne must have caught the irritation on my face because she suddenly changed the subject.
"So which house was it?"
she asked, peering at me from behind her cards. I blinked. "What do you mean?" Anne tilted her head.
"I've never met a hat stall before. I was just curious."
I frowned. "A what?" "Oh, you don't know?" She straightened in her seat, leaning in slightly.
A hat stall is someone whose sorting takes more than 3 minutes. Usually that happens when the sorting hat is torn between 2 houses and can't decide which one fits best. I'd say you were up there for at least 5 minutes.
5 minutes? My voice came out sharper than I intended. That long?
At least,
Sebastian confirmed cheerfully.
The Great Hall went dead silent. Never heard anything like it. Like I said, you're going to be the talk of the week.
I exhaled slowly, unsure how to feel about that. Anne, unfazed, pressed on.
"So which 2 houses?"
I hesitated, thinking back. "I don't know," I murmured. Then I thought of Mum. "Slytherin and Gryffindor, I suppose." Sebastian's eyebrows shot up.
Brilliant,
he exclaimed.
Slytherin and Gryffindor, historical rivals. If the hat was debating between those two, you must be quite the character.
His gaze lingered on me, thoughtful, almost admiring. I hadn't realised it was a compliment until just then. I smiled, suddenly self-conscious. "I'll trust your judgment." The night stretched on, the fire crackling as we played another round, time slipping away too fast. I could have stayed there for hours, dreading the moment I'd be alone with my thoughts. But eventually, even Sebastian's enthusiasm faded into exhaustion, and Anne stifled a yawn behind her hand.
"Come on,"
she murmured, waving toward the grandfather clock behind us.
"You'll regret it in the morning if you don't get some sleep."
The hands both pointed straight up. Midnight. Reluctantly, I followed her as we made our way to the girls' dormitory, our footsteps soft against the cool stone floor. The room was dark, save for the glow of the heating stove in the centre. 4 poster beds, framed by heavy emerald curtains, surrounded it. Our doormates were already asleep, their drapes drawn tight. As I pulled on my nightclothes, I caught my reflection in the mirror beside my bed. Brown hair, red tips, slightly dishevelled, eyes shadowed with the weight of the day. A stranger in green robes. I made a mental note to change the colour of my hair tips.
You know,
Anne's voice came from beside me, soft in the quiet.
it's not a bad thing.
I turned to her. What isn't? She crossed her arms, expression thoughtful.
Slytherin and Gryffindor,
She mused.
that's not just any combination. That means you've got fire and ambition, courage and cunning. It's rare.
Her lips quirked.
A little terrifying, but not bad. Being a Slytherin isn't bad.
I stared at her, my mouth half open, but no sound came. How did she know? Had she overheard me and Sebastian talking about my family? But before I could muster a response, Anne was already halfway across the room.
Good night.
She whispered, drawing her curtain shut. A strange sensation curled in my stomach, but as I sank into the plush mattress, my body finally relaxed. I took a deep breath. The silence engulfed me, but it wasn't suffocating. It was still, peaceful. Even though I'd failed my mother, even though I'd ended up in the wrong house, even though my thoughts kept circling back to ominous Gaunt.